Hello, welcome to Stretch and Relax. I am Chris and we are in my basement gym yet again. So I'm hoping that you kind of understand where I'm coming from how I'm leading Stretch and Relax. Some yoga-based movements, mixing in some just checking in, releasing some tension, trying to take control of what we can and letting go of what we can't, just sort of a relaxing, stretching, some yoga-based movements, but nothing too complicated. So I hope you've been enjoying it. Today we're going to work again on shoulders and hips, because those are our common tension spots. So let's go ahead and start standing. Again, feel free, shoes on or off, whatever feels comfortable for you. I'm a little chilly today, but I do enjoy having my shoes off, but I got my sweatshirt on. If I get warm, I may take it off later. Do that with yourself. Get comfortable, wear comfortable clothing, and make sure you have some comfy things around you. I have my block and my strap. If you don't have a block or a strap, feel free, just grab a couple pillows, a towel or a belt, or the belt off your robe, if that can help you. You can always get on good old Amazon or Walmart.com and find stuff that you can add to your home experience. Otherwise, the rec center is open and they are cleaning like nuts, so feel free to go and enjoy them as well, okay? Let this sort of be your fun home version of Stretch and Relax. And I hope you are enjoying it. Let's start standing. Feet can be underneath the hips, comfortable distance apart for you. I have my feet here. Sometimes I like to put my big toes together, letting the outside edges of my feet be parallel to one another. That's one typical yoga posture in standing. But today, let's just stand like this. Again, no right, no wrong, just different, okay? Now, let's start with our breath. Let's quiet our minds. So, eyes open, eyes closed. Let's start with our belly breathing. Inhaling, let's feel the belly raise. And as we exhale, that belly will fall. Try to tie into that, okay? If it takes physically putting your hand on your belly to get your mind to connect there instead of breathing up here, try to direct the breathing in your belly and feel the belly fill. Feel the belly fill. It's kind of like a belt around your waist. Let everything expand from front to back. And even side to side, you can feel it. That's the belly breathing we want to teach ourselves. It is a calming breath. It actually helps with hormonal release, stimulates that vagus nerve, calming us, centering us, bringing a little peace and quiet to our day. Again, if we ever feel stressful, we're feeling a little overwhelmed, work is nuts, life is nuts, take a couple moments, set aside a couple minutes, not much. Maybe sneak into your car at lunch, that's what I do. And I just relax. Take a moment to breathe. Let's use that breath to help push out any external thoughts we have of today, our to-do lists, our work, kids, parents, life. Put them aside. We cannot take care of others if we can't take care of ourselves. So this is our time here. Feel free to close your eyes again or keep them open, whatever works for you. Let that breath fill you. Stray thought pops in, that's okay. Visualize it, pick it up, set it aside. Feel free to recognize it, know it's there, but state to yourself, this is for later. This is me, this is my time. Just take a quiet moment Breathe. Release. Relax. Let's open our eyes. Let's bring our hands to heart center. Let's start by bringing the arms through the middle, elbows as close as possible till they get to about eye level, and then open up like a book. Broaden your sternum and casting the arms out. As we do this opening up like a book, try not to stick your ribs out. Stitch your ribs down towards your hips. Make this all about right through here. This is where we're broadening and opening, right through our collarbone. And cast out. Through the middle, open and cast. 3 more times. Open and cast. Don't worry about how your breathing is. Don't worry if you need to exhale or inhale, or time it just perfect. There's a place and a time. Breathe. 2 more. I'm enjoying this. Inhaling through the middle is what I like to do, and exhaling as I cast. Our last one. Good. Now, let's take up a lot of space. Lift up. Open up our chest to the ceiling. Arms in a letter Y. I'm not arcing back through my low back. I'm lifting my sternum up to my nose beat, pulling my ribs down towards my hips. And now to the right, we're going to push our hips left. Arms reach right. And come back center. Floating the arms down. Lift up. Again, stitch the ribs down, but open the sternum up. And pressing hips to the right, arms reach left. Tucking our tailbone under. And center. And release. Let's do this again. We're going to build onto this. So we press left, reach right, and center. Again, lift, press right, reach left. Tailbone under. One last time, right and left, I'm adding in. And reach. Come center. Arms come to airplane as we hinge at our hips, like we're going to dive into the pool. Now use the back of the legs, pulling ourselves up, sweep up, and press left, and reach. Center, arms come to T, airplane, hinging at the hip joint, and using the back of our legs to lift ourselves up. Lift up. Let's draw through the middle. And lift. 2 more times. Lift. 1 last time. Lift. Good. Let's take our feet generously wide. Toes turned out, comfortable. Now when we do our squats, remember we don't want to lead with our knees and our knees buckling in, collapsing onto our arches. We want to rotate those thigh bones open, knees going out the same direction as our toes, and our arches don't collapse. So lifting with me and sitting back. Hips lead back first, okay? So as we go down, remember that. Push the hips back, knees pressing out towards our pinky toes. Okay, let's do 6 of these. And lift. To come up, hug those thigh muscles hard against the bone. Tucking our tailbones under, giving our glutes a squeeze. Let's do 2 more. We're going to keep this going. We'll bring in the arms down to a W in moonflower. Again, notice the knees, they're not collapsing in. My arches are light and lifted. Oops, let's keep the arms going here. Let's do 2 more. Combine these now. Let's do a sunflower. So we sweep, scoop up, and moonflower. Chest is lifted. Sweep, scoop up, and chest stays lifted. Sweep and scoop. Chest stays lifted. 1 more time. Moonflower, ending here. 5-pointed star. Let's tuck our tailbones under, squeezing the thigh muscles to the bone. Pull the arm bones down into the shoulders and floating the arms down. Good. We're already in a nice wide stance. I would love it if you just turned the right toe in a little bit. I'm going to toe heel out slightly because we're going to come into a lunge on our right side. The knee stays inside the foot. Hand is very high on the thigh, not down by our knee. Foot is engaged into the floor. Knee is soft. Now using our inner thigh muscles, we're just going to pull, like we want to pull ourselves up, but don't. Just a little active tension right here. Good, breathe, and now relax. Good, 1 more time. Like you want to pull yourself up, but don't. Just tension here for 3, 2, 1, and now lift out. We're going to do the same thing other side. Come to a side lunge. Again, knees inside the foot. That's why I had to toe heel out a little bit. If going down that far is too much, you can be here. But again, see, my knee is inside the foot. I'm not trying to lunge outside. Okay? Again, no right, no wrong, just different. We have different abilities, different mobilities. And we're going to do this again. Bring tension to the inside of the thigh like we want to pull ourselves up. 3, 2, 1, relax. Let that muscle be soft, let the leg be soft. And again, pressing into the floor. Like we want to pull ourselves up for 3, 2, 1. Relax and lift out. Good. We're going to come back to the other side 1 more time. And then just switch sides. We're just going to go side to side. Nice and easy. Again, knee inside the foot. Our extended leg, the knee is not locked out, protecting from hyperextension. Again. This time, let's come to the right. Stay here with me. Good. Stay lifted. Sweeping the arm up by the ear. Just round over like a letter C. And rotate. We're going to toe heel, rotating our hips around. Hands high on our thigh. Good. Now let's take our arms, sweep them up nice and long. And then using our back muscles, let's draw ourselves back. Our low back is long, we're not curved into it. Tailbone is tucked under. We feel a wonderful stretch in the front of our thigh. Good. Now let's raise up high on the ball of our foot. And lower the heel down. Raising up onto the ball of our foot. Woohoo! And lower the heel down. 1 more time. Raise up. And lower. And bringing our hands to our thighs as we release our knee to the floor. We can tuck our foot under. We won't be here long, but if you need to, feel free to pause for a second, make that wrinkle in the mat. But what I want us to do is rotate away from each other. So the bent leg, both hands be here, and just rotate. Keep the hips level and square. Good. And then coming back to me, take the hand closest to me. Same side as our knee underneath our hip. I want us to sweep, reach, nice and long. Reach to the ceiling. Let your eyes follow your hand as you reach back and rotate back. Let's do this 2 more times. Reach forward, extending the arm out of the shoulder joint. This is the one time where I'm telling you, go for it. So reach, extend, rotate. Use this hand to gently press on the knee. 1 more time. Reach. Reach the ceiling. Reach the wall behind us. Good. Let's take this foot to the outside edge of our mat. I lied, I guess I am down here a little while, so if you need to put a wrinkle in, go for it, okay? I'll give you that moment. For now, we're going to bring our hands to the floor inside of our big toe. And excuse me, we want to allow this knee to fall away and then draw in towards our shoulder, okay? So coming down here, if this is something that you can't quite reach, feel free to grab a pillow, grab a block, or if it's just too impossible, feel free to come close to a wall. All right, so find what works for you. And I just want us to allow our hip to sink downward closer to the floor as our knee just relaxes towards the wall away from our shoulder. And now pull the knee towards our shoulder. Again, let the knee fall away from our shoulder. And now pull the knee towards our shoulder. One last time. Allow the knee to fall away. Let the hips sink a little bit more. And then pull the knee towards our shoulder. Let's walk our hands back up. Hands on our thigh. We're going to pop ourselves up. And rotate to the front. Let's change sides. We're going to do the same thing over here. So we're going to come into that lunge. Sweep up. Make a big letter C. Separate the ribs. Then release. And now rotate the whole body. Little toe heel action to get there. And now we're in our lunge. Good. Now without collapsing into our low back like this, we want to tuck our tailbone under. And if that means you need to scoot your foot in, go for it. But tuck that tailbone under. We're going to sweep the arms up, opening the chest to the ceiling in a crescent pose. Our knee has a generous bend. You can put a deeper bend into it. If you really want to get into it, you can put it at 90. I'll be up here since this is a stretch and relax class. It's not a true yoga class. But the tailbone is tucked under and our lower back is long. So sweeping up. Good. Now from here, can we raise up onto the ball of our foot a little bit more? Down here. And now lower the heel. Good. Lift the heel and lower the heel. 2 more times. Lifting and lower. 1 last time. Lift and lower. Let's bring those hands high on our thigh. We're going to slowly bring that knee down. And again, if you need to, take that moment, put that wrinkle in, okay? So from here, hands come to the outside of our bent leg. And just rotate yourself away from me. And coming back center, we're going to do the clock arm again. So extending, it's that same arm, the arm closest to me, with the knee underneath our hip. Let's reach forward, reach long. Let the gaze follow the arm as it travels up and over, rotating through the trunk. Good. Let this hand be here. I use it to help press into my rotation. Let the eyes follow. Don't worry if your clock arm looks wonky. Let's do one more. Tailbone is tucked under. Rotate, follow that arm. Good. Now let's take this foot clear to the outside edge of our mat. As we come down to hands, and again, if you need to use your block, feel free to do so, okay? We're going to come to the floor. Now, allow this knee to fall away from our shoulder, allowing the hips to sink down a little bit more. And now pull the knee towards the shoulder. The hip may lift a little bit, that's okay. Let's allow the knee to fall away. And draw the knee towards the shoulder. One more time. Allowing the knee to fall away. Allow the hips to sink down. Allow softness to come within our hips. And up. Good. From here, let's just take that knee, tuck it under, and have a seat upon our sit-upon right here. Good. We won't be here long, okay? I know if some of you might be having knee issues and this is just too much, don't worry about that. All right, let's swing out. Good. Stretching the legs out nice and long. You got your rope, your strap, your towel. Let's take that. We're going to put it across the ball of each foot, okay? Let's press the back sides of our legs firmly into the ground. We're sitting up nice and tall. If this is something that's a challenge for you, feel free to prop a pillow underneath your hip. Sometimes our lower backs or our hamstrings are too tight and we feel like we're like this and we can't get those legs straight. If that is you, feel free to just sneak a little pillow or even a roll-up towel underneath you. Make sure that you don't hyperextend the knees though when you have your hips elevated. Feels good to have the legs active against the floor, sitting up nice and tall, inhaling, and as we exhale, I want us to hinge, pivot at our hip joint, not rounding in our waist. I want us to pull our sternums towards our big toe, pausing here. Pausing where we feel the tension start blossoming in the back of our leg and up into our glutes, okay? Notice I'm not coming down as far as I can. It is a hinging, a pivot at our hip joint. Good. Let's press the legs a little bit more active into the ground. Inhale. And as we exhale, relax the legs a little bit, kind of shake them out. And now can we pull on the strap a little bit more, bringing our chest a little closer towards our knee or towards our toes without rounding. Again, we're still focusing on the pivot. And it's a small movement, it's okay. Now, let's press the backs of the legs into the ground a little bit harder. 3, 2, 1. Release those legs, let them be soft, shake them out. And one more time, can we gently pull on the strap? Again, notice I'm not rounding and I just moved maybe a half a centimeter, okay? So this is fine. Embrace where we are at. I have a lot of tension right now in my lower back and in my glutes and my hamstrings. They're being stretched. I'm gonna stay right here. I want my breath to go to my tension. So visualize your breath going to your tension. Visualize it being warm. Pick a color, red, yellow, orange, maybe a combo. Let that glow, that warmth, settle there, helping to release the tension that might be there for you. Breathe. Now, on our next exhalation, let yourself round over. There's the roundness within our spine. And then one more time, let's press the back of our legs active into the floor. It's a little different feeling now. and relax. Now can we round over a little bit more, pulling on those straps? Breathing into the tension within our low back. Good. Let the head fall, let the chin go to the chest. If this feels a little too intense, but you do enjoy it, feel free to release some of your body weight by putting your hand on your shin. We are sort of hanging out in space here. Using our hands, let's walk ourselves up. Good. Giving our back a little bit more love. Let's step in our feet. Now, I want us to hug our chest towards our knees or towards our thighs, and no separation happens, okay? And just slowly creep the feet out, okay? Slowly start to bring straightness to the legs. Pause where you start to feel some tension within your lower back to where you feel like you're going to let your chest separate from your thighs. Pause here, okay? Let the breath go to the tension within your low back. Let your head hang. Don't look forward, don't look around. Feel the tension, the stretch on the back side of the neck, going down our spine, into our low back, and into our gluteals. Let the breath release that tension. Again, give your breath a color. Let that color just fire up and down your spine, settling into your low back until you feel that softness release. And when we do, we sneak our feet just a little further out, just a couple little creeps, until we feel that blossom again. And then we pause. Take good deep breaths. Feeling the backside expand. Since the front of our bellies are resting on our thighs, it's kind of tough to breathe into the belly. So breathe into your low back. Let that tension release. Let that beautiful color you chose fire up and down your spine, settling into your low back. And then one more little creep. There. That's it for me, no more. Taking my breath, breathing into my low back, feeling my low back expand. Giving it a color. Let that color shoot down the spine. Radiating it out through the low back and the gluteals. Let the head hang, droop, fall from your shoulders. And now releasing our hands to the floor. Let's walk ourselves up and extend our legs. Let's bring our hands back behind us. Leaning back over the hands. The hands are directly underneath our shoulders. Fingertips may be pointing towards our gluteals. If that bothers your wrists whatsoever, feel free to come up on your knuckles or turn your hands slightly outward, okay? I want us to lift our sternums to our nose, pointing our toes. Press through the floor. Pull the belly button down though. Hollow out through the belly, but lifting the sternum up to your nose. Feel the chest expansion. Breathing into that tension within the fronts of our shoulders. And if you like, you may press the heels through the floor, lifting the gluteals up. You don't have to. Again, this isn't yoga. This is stretch and relax. And I want to give you your choice of movement. For me, this is wonderful. Opening through the chest. Again, hollow out through the belly. Don't let this be about pushing the belly out. It is not about pushing out. It is about pushing through the floor and tilting the sternum up towards our nose. Breathe. The shoulders roll back and down. Good. Soften. Relax. Shake it out. Pour water out of one ear and pour water out of the other ear. Again. And let's put our hands back, leaning back. Shoulders are over the hands. Let's point those toes. Pull, scoop out through the belly. And then press through the floor. Pull the shoulder blades down towards our back pockets, and our sternum tilts towards our nose. So as our shoulder blades pull down, that's how we get our sternum to come up towards our nose. Breathing into the sternum. Breathing into our collarbones. How wide can we make our collarbones? As we pull our shoulder blades together and down. What I mean by down is not straight down to the floor, but towards our back pockets, okay? And relax. And one more time, pouring water out of one ear and out of the other. And again. Let's use our blocks and have a seat. And again, if you don't have your block, feel free to grab a pillow. Having a seat, feet crossed comfortably, crisscross applesauce, heels lined up with heel if you choose. Maybe this is just too tight, maybe you gotta bring them out. Whatever's comfortable for you. Maybe a knee is hurting, maybe crossing is not feeling good, so feel free to extend the leg that is a little achy knee. Take stock in how we feel, and feel free to alter anything that I offer you, because all I'm offering you is a suggestion, and I just want you to take it as that. So I sit on the front edge. It allows my hips to tip so my knees can be down. Feels so nice on the hips. Let's just do a little shoulder work here. Let's lift our shoulders up and let them fall down. Lift them up and let them fall down. Let's do two more. Lift up and let them fall down. Lift up and let them fall down. Let's look over our right shoulder and center and left and center. Hands may be on our knees, in our laps, by our side. What feels good for you? One more time, right and left. Good. Let our right hand be on the floor next to our hip. Left hand on the outside of our knee as we just gently rotate towards our right, like we're wringing out a towel. Seated twist. Breathe. And release. As we change sides. Not leaning back or leaning towards the side, just straight up and down, like a spiral staircase. Let's go back to the other side one more time. Let your breath be easy, flowing. Let's change what foot is in front. You may find the rotations feel a little different, maybe stiffer or easier. It just lets us know maybe we need to take care of one side more than the other. We need to be aware of any muscle imbalance that we have, tightness we have. Because if we are out of balance, that does kind of increase our chance of having some injury. Some of those are so ingrained over time. And that's where we just need to accept and just be aware and do the best we can. My right shoulder, my right knee, my right hip have all been compromised from a car accident as I was a kid. So my right side is always lagging behind my left. I don't stop working on it, but I'm just aware of it. And I let my right side sort of lead how far I can push myself. Let's bring the soles of our feet together and just rock those hips side to side and do a little butterfly. Let's get those hips to forget they're tight. Good, let's quiet our legs. This time though, I will allow us to round. So I just want us to pretend like we're gonna dive into the pool and gently pull the crown of our head towards our big toe. Hollow out through the belly. And now lifting, and this time flat back. Reaching our sternum forward, drawing our sternum towards our big toe. Just changing, you can feel the difference. Let's come back up. And then again, round, hollow out through the belly. Pretend like we're diving into the pool. You're gonna feel the stretch. Lower back, less hips. And come on up. And now flat back. A little bit more hip. Oh, that feels so good. One more time, let's do our dive. Round over, draw the top of the head towards the big toe. And lifting, and now flat back. Gazes forward. Good. Let's come off of that block. We'll do one more for the hip. We've done this before, and it's called frog pose. It's a little intense once you get into it, but it is so wonderful on our hips. And we do so much sitting with driving, working, whatever, relaxing at home. So paying attention to our hips is so important. So we're gonna get into frog pose. I have my mat long. I have my block with me because I will need it. So we're just gonna come to all fours, hands under the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. And I'm just gonna separate my knees. Comfortable distance apart in the beginning. And I just wanna slowly work my knees out. If you notice, my heels are lined up right behind my knees. They're not bent in. Straight out. And pull the belly muscles in. Don't let the back collapse. Pull the belly muscles in. Feel the tension blossoming within our inner thighs. Maybe this is all the further you go, and that's okay. You can come down onto your elbows. Resting your fist on your elbows. You can take the block tall and put it right on your sternum to help with some of that body weight. Makes it a little bit easier on the hips. If this feels good, you feel release, you want to go a little wider, separate the thighs a little bit more. This is going to be very passive. So I want us to fully release onto the blocks or onto our elbows. Let the breath go to the tension within our hips. Breathe. Be patient here. We'll be here for just a little while. When we feel the tension release, we can alter the shape of our block. Maybe we can take the block fully away. I'm going to stack my forearms and rest my head on the back of a forearm. Letting the breath go to the hips. Breathe. Maybe you feel yourself getting heavier on the block. That's a release signal. Breathe into the tension. Again, imagine your breath is that color that you chose earlier. A fiery red, maybe burnt orange. Let that heat, that color build within your lungs. Now spread it out. Let it shoot down the spine, into the hips, releasing all tension. Using our breath to help relax. Wonderful. I hope you're enjoying this as much as I am. I could stay here longer. And if you want, feel free to stay here longer. As I wrap things up here, feel free to stay here just a wee bit more, getting the benefit of the stretch. If you want to come out, I bring my feet together. And I just push to the floor, lift a knee. Push to the floor, lift a knee as I sneak things back in. Because for me, that's a little stiff and sore to come back in. Oh. Come have a seat with me if you're ready. Feel free to stay in frog if you want to. Remembering that we cannot control everything around us. But knowing we have control of our reaction is empowering. I want you to keep that. Take that with you. Use it wherever you can. Things in life can be overwhelming. They can make you mad. They can make you frustrated. But we can let that go. So, with me, just breathe. Brush it off. Make change where you can, accept what you can't. And be a little kinder to yourself. Have a great day. I hope this was the icing on your day, or I hope it was just a way to send you off on a positive note. Take care, and we shall see you soon.